Hey everybody, this is Eric from Miller Music, and today we're going to be talking about songwriting. This is part 3 of our songwriting series, and we're going to be talking about chord progressions and coming up with interesting chord progressions for your songs. And if you haven't subscribed already to our channel, please do. I would appreciate it as we're producing these videos. So to come up with interesting chord progressions, I think that it's very helpful to understand a little bit about music theory. So when you're coming up with chord progressions, each chord has its own Roman numeral attached to it, or numbering system attached to it relative to the key that it's in. So for example, a 1-5-6-4 chord progression or a 2-5-1 chord progression, they are a number placed on the root note of the chord, and then it's either a major chord or a minor chord or even a diminished chord that's built off of that root note. So if you're in the key of C, for example, and you have a 1-5-6 minor 4 chord progression, it would be a C chord to a G chord to an A minor to an F chord. That's a really common chord progression we hear a lot. So to kind of illustrate this today, I have a song pulled up here that I composed. It's called Unshakable. And this is the really rough tracks. It's just guitar, bass, and drums. And it's in the key of D flat major, so I tried to choose a key that was a little bit less common. And it also uses some chords that are outside of the key. So what's an interesting thing to do, and I love to do this, is to borrow chords from the parallel minor. So if you're in the key of D flat major, okay, borrow chords from the key of D flat minor. And you don't use this a lot, but just 1 or 2 chords here or there can actually spice up your chords and just make it sound really interesting. So I'm in Studio One now, and another thing that I love about Studio One is they actually have a chord track here. And what you can do is just drag your audio track right into this chord track, and it manually detects what chords you're doing. So you'll hear this. I'm going to play it back. So right here we have it's in the key of D flat, so it's a 1 to a 4 to a 6 minor to a 5. So those are really common chords. Like I said, the 1, the 5, the 6, and the 4. That's a really common chord progression. You hear it in pop music all the time. So basically, I repeat that chord progression 4 times throughout the verse. Okay, and it changes a little bit at the end. We do a little bit of a build up here on the 5. Now here's the chorus, and to change it, I chose to start on the 4 chord. So it kind of gives the listener a sense of, okay, this is a different section of the song. So we're starting on G flat, and now we go 4, 1, 5, 6. Okay, and then instead of repeating those 4 chords, we're going to change it. Now we're going to go to a 2 chord back to the 1 chord to the 5 chord. And this is actually an inverted chord, so it's a 1 with an F in the bass, so that would be the 3rd in the bass. So let's give the chorus a listen. 2 minor, 5, repeats again. So here's the bridge, and again, this is a brand new section of the song, so instead of expecting to go back to the 1 chord, we go to the 6 minor. So it just changes, again, gives the listener a sense of, oh, this is a different section of the song. You don't want to do that too many times, but typically the verse, the chorus, the bridge, you can do that. So we're starting on 6 minor, and here is where I'm experimenting a little bit with breaking outside of the chords that are in the key. So we start on 6 minor, and then we go to flat 6 major, which would be taken directly from the key of D flat minor, okay, or C sharp minor, depending on which root you're looking at. And you'll hear it. And then we go to a flat 7 major, a B major chord. So let's give that a listen. You can hear it goes outside the key there, back into the key, and back outside the key. Flat 6, flat 7, build up. So then it goes back to a solo, which is the same chords as the chorus part of the song. So yeah, that's something I really love to do. There's a lot of other techniques you can get, but borrowing from the parallel minor. So if you're in the key of C major, borrow a couple chords from the key of C minor. There's secondary dominant chords, which we can get into another time, but try experimenting with that. Try making some interesting chord progressions, borrowing from other keys. Yeah, I hope this helps. Thanks so much. This is Eric from Miller Music, and see you next time. Bye-bye.